Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Sri Lankan government plans to hold Global Tamil Forum accountable for LTTE recruited child soldiers. Kumar Sangakkara shines off the field with his impassioned speech at Lord's. Thushari Jayasekera, Sri Lankan-born Hollywood actress. According to reliable sources, Sri Lankan government has requested the United Kingdom to take up the issue of child soldiers with the UK-based LTTE front organisation Global Tamil Forum. The government's position is that the LTTE front organisations that raised funds for the LTTE should be held accountable for the war crimes committed by the LTTE. There is ample evidence that the LTTE had a baby brigade of over 6,000 child soldiers from 6 to 12 years old. Majority of these children were forcibly recruited after being kidnapped by the LTTE. There were hundreds of cases relating to such child abductions had been reported to the Norwegian peace brokers when they were monitoring the failed peace process during 2002 to 2006. According to these sources, the Sri Lankan government had handed over a UNICEF report which dealt with post-war efforts to locate missing children in the northern and eastern provinces to Dr. Liam Fox, UK Secretary of State for Defence, when he was on visit to. My loyalty will be to the ordinary Sri Lankan fan, their 20 million hearts beating collectively as one to our island rhythm and filled with an undying and ever loyal love for this our game. Fans of different races, castes, ethnicities and religions who together celebrate their diversity by uniting for a common national cause. They are my foundation. They are my family. I will play my cricket for them. Those were the words of former Sri Lankan cricket captain Kumar Sangakkara, who delivered the annual Cowdrey lecture at Lord's last week.
This lecture is all about the spirit of the game. And in this regard, the story of Sri Lankan cricket is fascinating. Cricket in Sri Lanka is no longer just a sport. It is a shared passion that is a source of fun and a force for unity. It is a treasured sport that occupies a celebrated place in our society. It is remarkable that in a very short period, an alien game has become our national obsession, played and followed with almost fanatical passion and love, a game that brings a nation to a standstill, a sport so powerful it is capable of transcending war and petty politics. In our history, you will find periods of glorious peace and prosperity and times of great strife, war and violence. Sri Lankans have been hardened by experience and have shown themselves to be a resilient and proud society, celebrating at all times a zest for life and living. We are fiercely proud of our heritage and culture, the ordinary Sri Lankan standing tall and secure in their knowledge. The period between 1960 to 1981 was one of slow progress in the game's popularity, as the power transferred from the Anglicized elite to rising socialist and nationalist groups. Nevertheless, Sri Lanka was made an associate member of the ICC in 1965, gaining the opportunity to play unofficial test matches with players like Michael Tissera and Anurag Tenakorn, impressing as genuine world-class batsmen. In 1981, thanks to the efforts of the late Honourable Damini Dissanayake, the ICC granted Sri Lanka official test status. It was obviously a pivotal time in our cricketing history, and this was the start of a transformation of cricket from an elite sport to a game for the masses.
Delivering 1 hour 2 minute speech that won him a standing ovation, Sangakkara slammed partisan cronies in the Sri Lankan cricket and called on the cricketing body to stamp out corruption and infighting within. Accountability and transparency in administration and credibility of conduct were lost in a mad power struggle that would leave Sri Lankan cricket with no clear, consistent administration, said Sangakkara. Thushari Jayasekera, who grew up in Southern California, is a performance artist, actress, writer, blogger, model, and activist. With her role Pinky in the popular American sitcom Outsourced, she has become a well-known actress in Hollywood.
Pinky, let's do this.
If you'll hold, please, I'd like to transfer you to my manager.
But Pinky, we haven't even started yet.
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line. Estimated wait time is 5 minutes.
Thushari, could you share briefly about how you started an interest in acting and a little bit about your journey as an actress?
I can't exactly remember a point where I said, well, now I want to be a performer. I think it's just developed because I loved creative things. I loved taking part in skits at school, doing dance and movement. I just liked being involved in creating different characters. I would even write my own monologues and just act them out. I would do dances. So I think I just liked performing and being able to create different characters. One of my goals in doing comedy is putting a smile on people's faces. And as a performance artist, I want to make people think about the world in a different way. So I think combining that, I think it's just maybe I want to entertain people. And that's what makes me want to be a performer and actress, is to, contribute to creating a character, bringing it to life, bringing the story to life with other performers, a collaboration, or even if it's a one-person thing, it's just presenting something to the audience for other people to enjoy. So that's what I love to do. And that's why I got into this. It's even though there are difficulties, I love the process of creation and having a great end product for people to enjoy. So I do hope that Outsourced put a smile on your faces. And I hope that Pinky and what she did put a smile on your face.
What are some of the challenges you had to overcome as a Sri Lankan American actress?
Being a Sri Lankan American is not a lot of people in the USA know where Sri Lanka is. So I think that's kind of a challenge. But growing up in America, I thought I'd be casted for any role, regardless of ethnicity, age, size, color. But that's not always the case. But I was just happy to do my own projects, to keep submitting, being persistent, and all that good stuff. Because I knew that one day my dreams would come true, that I had nowhere to go but up, because I was already at the bottom. And I was really thankful to have a good support system, because one of my challenges was joining the unions, the financial struggle of it. So I was very grateful that my parents, my brother, even my mom's aunt and uncle helped me financially to get where I wanted to go. And even throughout the years, other family members have, contributed my projects, whether financially or just by seeing it. And that's really tremendous support, because you do need the financial as well as audiences. And I'm glad they liked my work and enjoyed my work.
What advice, guidance you can offer for a Sri Lankan American who may want to consider acting as his or her profession?
My advice is be persistent and diligent. Practice, take classes, research. If you want to move to New York or Los Angeles, don't do that right away. explore options in your own home front. You know, do local projects, get experience. And then, if you think it's right for you, then, move to New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Canada, England. You never know. And have a good attitude. Don't be afraid to start at entry level. Just keep learning and you'll be fine. Best of luck to you, those who are pursuing entertainment.
What would be your dream role that you would like to play one day?
There are so many dream roles that I can think of. I would love to do a variety of supporting and leading roles on film, TV, and stage. I would love to I'd love to do mythological stories, classical Greek drama turned into film. One thing that I can think of is one of my favorite films is Mississippi Masala. If they make a sequel like 22 years later, I would love to play the daughter of Denzel Washington and Sarita Chowdhury's character on the film and explore that relationship and what she would turn out to be like. Like, would she fall in love with an Indian boy or Caucasian, or where would that lead to? And kind of continue on with that story, because that was an intriguing topic at that time. I think it was an Indian girl and an African American man and their relationship and how the families dealt with their relationship. So I think it would be something fun to explore. I would also love to work with some of my favorite actors like Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. I think it would be fun.
Thank you, Thushari. That was Thushari Jayasekera from Los Angeles.
It was a great pleasure to do this interview for Boston Lanka Media Network. Thank you.
That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of news, views, and entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.